the Best Lap Award for 2021. Fastest lap of that race, though, was Scott Redding on the penultimate lap to find his way through to the front. Rea recovering, and he will take to the top step of the podium for the final time this season and for the final time as world champion. For now, at least. Perhaps he'll be able to get back on top for 2022.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, can we go to round one tomorrow?
If we could, I'm sure we would. And I think if Alvaro Bautista could, he certainly would. He's getting as close to it as near as darn it, isn't he?
Yeah, straight on to that Ducati to replace Scott Redding. This week he'll be out in Jerez testing and getting Ducati up to speed. And Ducati certainly want to be able to bring the fight to the front once again next year. It's been such a close battle between Ducati, Yamaha and Kawasaki all the way through. But once again, we've been able to see Michael van der Mark and BMW in the level playing field of the wet conditions. They've been able to get themselves to the fore and battle it onto the podium.
Jonathan Rea celebrating. His celebration was much more muted clearly earlier on today. I'm sure he would have still been holding out hope for a miracle, and that Toprak Razgatlioglu wouldn't score the points that he needed and that he'd get another shot here this afternoon. As it turned out, though, Rea had to take second best, and he looked emotional during the interview in Parc Ferme with Anthony as well. This time around, it's a very different figure that he cuts. This is elation and probably a relief as much as anything. Yeah,
it's also a very different set of circumstances this year for Rea compared to other seasons. He's here at the final round of the year. He's obviously got his team around him, but unlike previous years, he doesn't have his family around him. Obviously a lot more difficult to travel around the world at this stage, particularly to the flyaway rounds. So that support makes a big difference as well. So there is a different dynamic this season compared to previous years.
Yes, he was telling them to go to bed, wasn't he, here yesterday when we had the postponement about to be confirmed. Hopefully Jake and Tyler and all the family are up to see Jonathan Rea taking the race 2 victory here this afternoon as he wins ahead of Scott Redding and Michael van der Mark, and a final team award, and fittingly it goes to Jonathan Rea's crew chief Per Ariba, who's been there for him throughout this season, and both of them have tried to mastermind what could have been a great escape as Jonathan Rea fell into second position behind Toprak Razgatlioglu. In the end, he finishes just 13 points short of the new world champion Razgatlioglu. And the national anthem for your winning manufacturer of race 2 here today, Kawasaki.
The national anthem of Japan.
Jonathan Rea, your race winner, and for the 13th time this season, and first back-to-back victories as well since all the way back in Assen. If he'd been riding and getting results like that all the way through the season, probably would be world champion again. But Toprak Razgatlioglu's taking it off him. So Jonathan Rea, the most he can do in race 2 this afternoon is end in style, and I'm sure he'll have a message as well. All for the cameras, Jonathan Rea ahead of Scott Redding in second and Michael van der Mark in third. So that concludes our 2021 racing season. It's a fair amount later than we anticipated we were going to be concluding proceedings. But do you know what? It was worth getting there in the end, wasn't it? 12 laps of spectacular entertainment that went right down to the final sector between Redding and Rea.